Princess Diana was a trailblazer, activist, style icon, and one of the most influential people of the 20th century. However, behind closed doors, she was going through so much, and the focus has done all the digging. After watching, you will finally understand Princess Diana. Young Diana. When Diana Spencer was young, she wanted to be a ballerina. However, her dreams would never become a reality, as she soon grew to be too tall for the profession and was forced to give it up. Her parents, Frances Shan Kidd and Edward John Spencer, divorced after years of a tumultuous relationship involving cheating and domestic abuse. Princess Diana ended up living with her father after her parents' divorce and a vicious custody battle between her father and mother over Diana and her siblings. Diana became Lady Diana Spencer when her father inherited the title of Earl Spencer in 1975. The soon-to-be princess also struggled in school and eventually dropped out. While she was in boarding school, Diana failed her O-level exams twice before dropping out of school. She later enrolled at a finishing school in Switzerland, but was only there for one semester before meeting Prince Charles and dropping out. Prince Charles and Princess Diana officially met when she was 16 years old, and Charles was nearing 30. Prince Charles and Diana's older sister, Sarah Spencer, were rumored to be dating before the royal couple got together. In fact, older Spencer's sister even reportedly takes the credit for introducing Charles and Diana. Before she met Prince Charles and became a princess, Diana also worked many odd jobs, including as a nanny and a school teacher. She was paid only $5 an hour to play with children, do laundry, and clean. She also worked as a kindergarten teacher part-time in London's Pimlico area. Marrying Prince Charles. On July 29, 1981, Diana Spencer made a 3.5-minute walk down the aisle of St. Paul's Cathedral in front of 3,000 guests and 750 million TV viewers wearing a sumptuous taffeta gown complete with a 25-foot train, estimated to have cost $115,000. She broke barriers and started a tradition when she omitted the tradition of saying she would obey her husband in her vows from the Book of Common Prayer. Regardless, it was the wedding of the century, but a couple of years later, Princess Diana said that it was the worst day of her life. Prince Charles and Princess Diana were portrayed as the fairy tale couple, but the truth of the matter was that Charles and Diana were practically strangers at the time of their wedding. In fact, they'd only met 13 times before tying the knot. Additionally, in these 13 meetings, Charles and Diana were rarely alone. When asked if they were in love, Charles infamously replied, "Whatever in love means." Marriage was a total headache. At the time of their wedding, Prince Charles was 32 while Princess Diana was just 20. She was 19 at the time of the proposal, and we totally see how the age difference may have contributed to their divorce. The 12-year-old gap meant that their personalities were poorly suited for one another. In fact, it's widely believed to be one of the most significant factors in their eventual divorce. Because of Princess Diana's youth and inexperience, she was unprepared for the dramatic life changes that came with becoming a royal. She was merely a child when she walked in and knew nothing about what she was getting into, let alone balancing royalty, life, and her marriage at just 20. While Diana was expecting to live a real-life fairy tale, the reality of becoming a royal was vastly different. As Diana once said to E! News, "The day I walked down the aisle at St. Paul's Cathedral, I felt that my personality was taken away from me, and I was taken over by the royal machine." Mental illness. Princess Diana struggled with bulimia, depression, and anxiety throughout her time with Prince Charles. In 1995, she told the BBC the eating disorder was a symptom of what was going on in her marriage. In another interview for Andrew Morton's biography, she said the bulimia started the week after they got engaged. She also recalled her husband putting his hand on her waistline and said something like, "Oh, a bit chubby here, aren't we?" And that triggered off something in her. Within months of getting married, Diana's mental health deteriorated further. She saw multiple psychiatrists who reportedly put her on high levels of medication. According to Princess Diana's interviews for her biography by Andrew Morton, Prince Charles was rarely there to support her throughout their marriage. When it came to her struggles with mental health, Diana alleged that Charles said she was crying wolf. Prince Charles was in love with someone else. As if it wasn't enough that Princess Diana was struggling to maintain a fairy tale marriage in the midst of everything, her husband was in love with someone else. Notably, Prince Charles had dated Camilla Parker Bowles in the early 70s. He was still in love with Camilla Parker Bowles at the time of his wedding, but he was the next in line to the throne, so he had to find somebody to bear his heirs, and he did what was expected of him. For Charles, the marriage was merely an alliance based on royal duty, and he was unable to give Diana the love she craved in the early years of their marriage. Giving birth to Prince William and Harry. On June 21, 1982, Princess Diana broke with royal tradition when she gave birth to Prince William and later Prince Harry at the Lindo Wing at St. Mary's Hospital in London. Prior to Princess Diana becoming a mother, it was usually custom for members of the royal family to give birth at the palace. Princess Diana also chose both of her sons' names and disagreed with Charles on what William and Harry should be named. Charles originally wanted William to be named Arthur and for Henry, who goes by his nickname Harry, to be named Albert. While the names were still used in some regard, Prince William's full name is William Arthur Philip Louis, while Harry's is Henry Charles Albert David. Diana was no ordinary royal mom. She was determined to raise Prince William and Prince Harry as normally as possible. She made sure that they experienced things like going to the movies, queuing up to buy a McDonald's, and going to amusement parks. She was excluded by the royal family. Princess Diana found it almost impossible to feel like a part of her husband's family. In fact, she often felt actively excluded. In her interviews for Andrew Morton, she recalled one instance where she felt particularly and painfully left out. Apparently, Prince William's christening when he was only 6 weeks old was all decided around her. Diana went on to explain that no one consulted with her about when to hold the event. In the end, they picked 11 o'clock, which was an awkward time for the baby. Diana even felt that she wasn't included in the pictures, and it felt as though she was merely there to feed and comfort the baby in between pictures. Multiple affairs. Of course, with everything going on, the couple started looking for affection elsewhere. 4 years into their union, Diana fell in love with her bodyguard, Barry Manicky. She also had an affair with Officer James Hewitt, who was reportedly snuck into Kensington Palace in the boot of the princess's car. In 1986, Charles reportedly began an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. Sally Bettle Smith claims in her biography, Prince Charles, The Passions and Paradoxes of an Improbable Life, that Charles even cried the night before his wedding as he couldn't get over his infatuation for his ex-girlfriend Camilla Parker Bowles. Although Diana and Camilla were initially friends, repeating incidents continued to feed Diana's suspicions about a potentially clandestine romance. Charles and Camilla supposedly had nicknames for each other, Fred and Gladys. 2 weeks before he married Diana, Charles had gifted a personalized bracelet to Camilla, a blue disc with G and F on it. He was also seen wearing gold cufflinks engraved with interwoven C's to a formal dinner. According to her personal account, Diana reported that she once overheard Charles talking to Camilla on the phone while he was in the bath, and she heard him tell her, "Whatever happens, I will always love you." As if that's not heartbreaking enough, the princess also revealed that she witnessed a photograph of Camilla falling out of Charles's diary. His clear affections for Camilla understandingly stirred skepticism and jealousy for Diana, and she even told her sisters she couldn't go through with the wedding. To that, they told her she had no choice. As she revealed in private interview tabs for Andrew Morton, Diana once confronted Camilla at a party. According to the recordings, Diana went downstairs where she found her husband speaking with Camilla and another friend. After her husband and the friend left the room, Diana told Camilla, "I'd just like you to know that I know exactly what is going on." Diana then recalled Camilla defending herself by saying that Diana had all the men in the world. However, when asked what more she could want, Diana replied by saying, "I want my husband." The media was obsessed with Princess Diana. It wasn't just the responsibility of entertaining the royal family that plagued Diana, it was also the intrusive media attention that came with it. In a 1995 interview with PBS's Frontline, Diana revealed that the nonstop media attention was an isolating experience. Diana also claimed that Charles and the rest of the royal family offered no support when it came to the aggressive and intrusive press attention. As she recalled, there were often over 30 photographers waiting outside her home. She also explained that Charles couldn't share her happiness at being loved by the public. In fact, he made it hard for her to enjoy any of the public affection. We understand why the media was so obsessed with Princess Diana and not her husband. Princess Diana was always eager to meet the people of all ages and backgrounds while traveling, and refused to wear gloves when meeting the people, which was typically customary for the royals. Nearly 100,000 people cheered for Prince Charles and Princess Diana as they drove through the streets of Tokyo, exemplifying that Diana's popularity reached far beyond the borders of the United Kingdom. Diana also made history in April 1987 when she was photographed shaking an HIV patient's hand without wearing gloves. The photo helped spread the message of HIV awareness and educate the public's perception of the illness. That day, the princess opened the UK's first HIV/AIDS unit at London Middlesex Hospital that specifically treated patients infected with the virus. The divorce. Sadly, the two royals filed for divorce in 1996. After divorcing Prince Charles, Diana's title of Her Royal Highness was removed from her name, but Queen Elizabeth was not the one insisting. Charles was. According to the terms of their divorce, she was to give up her right to be and called Her Royal Highness. The Queen of England newspaper also reported that Queen Elizabeth was reported to have been ready to allow Diana to retain the honorific, but Prince Charles was said to be adamant that she give it up. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Queen was fond of Princess Diana. When Diana pursued volunteer and fundraising opportunities with people suffering from HIV and AIDS, the Queen asked Diana if she couldn't get involved with something more pleasant. And while the meaning is disputed, the Queen is reported to have said at the news of Diana's death that someone must have greased the brakes. The truth about Princess Diana's death. Unfortunately, just 1 year after the divorce, Princess Diana died in 1997 due to a car crash in Paris. The initial French judicial investigation concluded that the crash was caused by Paul's intoxication, reckless driving, speeding, and effects of prescription drugs. However, in February 1998, Mohammed Al-Fayed, owner of the Paris Ritz where Paul had worked, publicly said that the crash had been planned and accused MI6 and the Duke of Edinburgh. An inquest that started in London in 2004 and continued in 2007 and 2008 attributed the crash to grossly negligent driving by Paul and to the pursuing paparazzi, who forced Paul to speed into the tunnel. Princess Diana was laid to rest at Althorpe House in Northampton, which has been in the Spencer family for more than 500 years. Her memorial is located on a small, tranquil island across from a lake where visitors can go to pay their respects to the people's princess. It's so unfortunate what happened to her and the life she had to live, but we finally understand Princess Diana. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Focus.